Hello and welcome. So here we have the Drag Slash by Traxxas. So Traxxas released this not too long ago. This is their drag car with a beautiful Chevy body. On here there's different cars available, but the biggest question is it better to buy one already built, or is it better to build a drag car using a Bandit and then just buying the additional parts? Well, that's the question that I will be hopefully helping you find an answer to. Now, if we just go to a hobby shop, ignore the top price. If we go to a hobby shop, we're going to need a variety of things in order to build our own drag car. So if we begin with our build, we're going to need a Bandit, which I'll show you later on, but we're going to need CA Glue set of wheels. So these here are by JConcepts. This is an option. And then we have tires. Now tires, there's a variety of tires that you can get. These are just some examples. They most tend to range around the same price. So I just selected these. It was a random pick. I'm not promoting any of these products. These are just some of the options. Body, I just picked a random body, which happens to be the Super J body. For example, I'm running a Mustang Fox body, right? That's my preferred body. Why? Because Proline isn't releasing the 68 body yet for some reason. I've been waiting for that one for a long time. But you have to buy this. So if we start going through the parts, you will also need front and rear body mounts. Now I selected these just because it comes in a pack, $20. You could save about $10 if you buy the ones for a Slash. So not the Proline ones, but these are adjustable. So I selected these because these do adjust up and down. It's a lot easier than trimming the post on the other one. You will also need a transmission, a better transmission. Although you don't really need this one, but I would recommend a better transmission. The reason why I would choose this one is because the slipper system is very good. It does not have a roll pin on this lay shaft as these do out of the factory. Those pins tend to break, so it's just one piece, the gear and the lay shaft. That's the reason why. And this wheelie bar is the most affordable wheelie bar of its class. There's some other wheelie bars out there you can get. Again, we're just doing a comparison. What is better? So it depends. If you're starting, this is your first RC, or maybe this is your first drag car, these are probably the parts you are going to be looking into getting. Now, the Bandit, yes, it comes with a transmission. The problem with it is it's an open differential. You could try 1 million oil in there, just diff fluid. Or you could even go with Traxxas and other brands have a 20 million diff. That one may be a little too much, but perhaps a million. A million, I do not think it will leak out of the differential, but it is a possibility, but I doubt it would. So that would be a possibility for your differential. But again, I have not tried it with 1 million. I know 20 million is so thick, it will not leak out. I actually have 1 million coming in. But that's for a different project. And of course you need the Slash LCG conversion chassis. Now if you go to local stores, for example hobby shops, depending on where you are, Hobby Town in Washington near Tacoma, if you go to Evergreen, they used to have this one for about $36, NorCal Hobbies in San Jose, also about $36. Honest Hobbies in Las Vegas also had it for about $36. So you can get it for less money elsewhere if you shop about. The same thing goes on with some of the other things. For example, this transmission, when I purchased mine, I believe it was about $112. That one I purchased from Honest Hobbies, and then I purchased another one of these from NorCal Hobbies in San Jose, California. So I've bought things from all over the place. Nice hobby shops. Maybe I'll do a video on those. But anyway, these are the parts, basic parts that you would need. And you are looking at $659.87 plus tax if applicable in your state. Here, I'm looking at AMain's website. They ship for free if it's over $99.99, I believe. Say $100 just to keep it simple. So the only place where you could potentially save some money would be a little bit here, a little bit there. But if you choose not to go with the transmission, so if we delete the transmission, that will drop the price down to $536.88. Now, our target is $500 because that is how much the Drag Slash cost. We're rounding. So now we're over that price, and we have a drag car. Now, this is a single wheel wheelie bar. That's something to consider. For some setups, they work. For some of them, they will steer you off. But this is what you're looking for. And here's the thing. That does not include paint. We still need paint for the body. So if you have the tools to cut, the scissors to cut these, the Lexan scissors, you're looking at about $9 for that. Then you're good. If not, you will have to invest in Lexan scissors as well as paint. So just paint Lexan scissors, you're looking at another, say, $20. So you are already over the price of a Drag Slash. Now, to be honest, if you just don't like the body, which is possible, or you want a different body, somebody will buy that body from you or trade it. For example, I would gladly purchase this and trade it if I were interested in that body. Right? So you can find people to do that. Now let's go with another option. Again, you're going to need CA glue, right, for your wheels and tires. Here are wheels and tires. Here are the tires with the foams. Now, an assumption is that you have some other basic material, such as the alcohol to clean the tires, or whatever it is that you're going to use to clean this and this, dish soap, etc. So I'm not counting that in cost, because the assumption is you have this already at home. As well, you should. But again, we have a body, and the only reason why I picked this body is you can find many bodies around this price. There's some bodies that are a little more expensive, in the low 50s. But again, you're going to need the body mounts, and again, the transmission. This is the one I'm actually running. Sway bar. Sorry, I said sway bar. Wheelie bar. And then we have this Bandit right here. This is the brushed version. So notice the price difference between the first one, which was VXL, and this one, which is the brushed version. And again, you need the LCG. Well, here we're looking at $520 plus taxes if applicable. And again, it still does not include paint for the body or Lexan scissors. Here, hopefully you have the tools to assemble everything. So if you do have the tools, then don't worry about it. Don't include that in the cost. But if you do not, that's something that you will have to add. Then again, tools you're going to buy anyway if you're getting into the hobby. So do not bring that into the calculation. Now, where could you save some money here? Well, again, if we delete this transmission and you keep the stock transmission, then you're looking at about $400. So here you would save about $100 superficially, and I say it that way because you still need paint, and if you decide to try and tune this with some heavy diff fluids, you're going to have to buy those, which can range anywhere from $8 to $16 depending on the oil brand that is out there. So really, you are only going to be saving about $60 to $80 depending on what you get. Now, another place where you could save on both top and bottom is instead of getting these front wheels, you could use these front wheels. They're not as good though, I'll be honest. So you could save another $24. So there you would get the 100, and then you could have some spare wheels, or you could just buy the rear wheels, save maybe another $10. So up here it would be the same thing. If you drop these, you're looking at about 500 and 500. But there's one thing that you're missing. Even if you get this down to 500, the VXL, you're not going to have the same transmitter as you would on the Drag Slash, which I will cover later. So you're actually sacrificing a feature, very important feature. Well, it's not that important if you want to use it. and it's the trans brake feature. Here, you're going to have a brush system. There's nothing wrong with the brush system. They're good. I like them. But if you also want to, say, bash a little, put some 3S power, you will not be able to with this. This is the 15 turn Titan motor. Again, good motor. But you're going to be missing out on the brushless system. So keep that in mind. So if you upgrade this with a brushless system, you're looking at another $150 if you were to buy, say, a Hobbywig Easy Run system, 3660 motor. So that's something to keep in mind. So really the savings, not that much. Now if we go to another option, let's just say you build it from scratch. All right, well, you're gonna need CA glue again. This time you will definitely need all 4 wheels and tires. You will need a transmitter. Now you can get less expensive transmitters. You can get some transmitters. Spectrum makes some for maybe $40, somewhere around there if you want something really basic, which is fine. This one you can have up to 10 cars programmed into it. This is my transmitter. That's what I have. Well, 2 of them. But anyway. And this is a system that you could get. So this is a Hobbywig Easy Run system with a 3660. This is the longer can. For $100, you can get the shorter can. I do not know why you would, though. If it's an open class, just get the longer can. There's more torque. Then you can. It's easier for you to tune. It's also 4600 kV motor. You will need a body posts, body mounts, transmission. So here we need this transmission. We have no option. We need the wheelie bar. We have here the screw set. Now these are stainless steel, so if you do run over a little bit of water, no big deal. You need the rear bearing carriers. Now these are the RPM. You can get the factory slash for maybe about $4 or $5. Bearing kit, so you're gonna need the bearings. You will have some bearings left over. Servo, I figured, $40 with just Traxxas Servo. You can get some Rage, for example, as a very good steel gear servo for about $25. So you could save a little bit of money there. You're gonna need the links, all the turnbuckles. So here you're gonna need a set of, 2 of these, front, rear, steering, or maybe I got them backwards, maybe. But anyway, you're going to need a lot of turnbuckles. And even if I made a mistake and it's 2 of these and 1 of these, the price is close enough. You will need a bulkhead, front arms. This is for your steering, and then the rod ends for the steering. Caster blocks, shock tower, front and rear. If you're going to build it, I would actually recommend the Proline ProTrack rear shock tower, and the reason why is it's wider on top, so the shocks will fit further out, so you can have straighter shocks on the rear. Front shock tower, steering blocks, and bell crank. Now you can save some money here by using just a regular steering crank, plastic one, maybe off of a VXL model. I forgot the cost. Anyway, I actually stopped looking at parts. And the reason why is servo horn. So because we're using the Traxxas Servo, we need a servo saver on the horn here. And I'm still missing parts. Some of these parts that I'm missing, if you look at this, we're missing shocks and springs. So we have no dampers yet. And that's the issue. We don't even have the spindles. So you need the spindles for the front. And we are already over $800 on this build. And to be honest, the parts are not that much better. I mean, all of these so far are the same parts, except for this RPM and this aluminum bell crank. These are the same parts. So by building it part by part, you're wasting a lot of money, to be honest. So this option is not an option that I would recommend at all. Maybe one of the other 2 Bandit options. It just depends on the build that you want to do. So, the reality is, ignore this price. You have these options for drag cars. You can get an associated DR10 for $350. You can get one with a battery and charger for $420, but if you have batteries and chargers, just ignore it. Or you'd have to get one here, another one there, another one here. This is the only one that comes with a battery and charger, that combo. So this is far less expensive than a Traxxas Drag Slash. You have the low C with the 69 Camaro. This is such a beautiful looking car, if you've ever seen these in person. So this would be an option. This is $100 less. So really it depends. Ignore the bottom. This is a list for something else. It really depends on what you want. If you want a Traxxas product, the best way would probably be to just go with this one. $500, you get a beautiful scale looking body, Mickey Thompson tires, and everything is just set and buttoned up. If you're not necessarily looking into a Traxxas Drag Slash and you're just looking into a drag vehicle, well, you could get the low C, for example. Team Associated, yes, this is a good option. It is a good platform. $200, actually less. I've seen them for less than $200. You can get just the roller, and then you can buy wheels, tires, pick your electronics. So it just depends on how much customization you want to do. If you want something out of the box, Traxxas, here we go. Something out of the box. You don't care if it's Traxxas or not. You have these options here. Now, I will be honest, one of the things that I do like about Traxxas is parts availability, and they don't change their designs every other year. So one of the things that, if you've looked at the DR10, the chassis, the platform arms, these are just older models that they brought back. But usually, Team Associated is always updating models, so at some point your model will be obsolete. Low C, similar thing. One of the advantages though of low C, this is a newer platform, so you do get an aluminum chassis. Traxxas, it's been around forever. These designs, the Bandit and Slash, I mean, these trucks are just a combination between Bandit and Slash, with the exception of transmission. But you know, all the main components, arms, suspension, chassis, they have been around for years. Decades, and I say decades because even if it's 2 decades, that's already more than one. So that would be the advantage of purchasing a Traxxas Drag Slash, which is something that I may consider in the future, to be honest. It's such a beautiful body. That's something else that you have to take into account. It has to have value for you, right? This is your money that you're spending. Make sure that everything that you're buying has at least the value that money has to you. So if you have $500, that $500 is worth $500 to you. So buy something that you think is worth $500 or more, right? If you think you're getting a better deal. And the Drag Slash is a better deal from that perspective. So again, this one, I didn't even bother finishing everything up because it was just too expensive. These over here, first options, you can come close. Well, this one's below, but you're going to have a different system. So later on, if you upgrade the system, you will be over the price. But again, it depends on your budget. If your budget is only $450, the Drag Slash is out of the question. This would be the option. So that's something to consider as well. What is your budget? This one over here, right? You can get it close to that $500 if you just eliminate these tires, for example. Just get the rear wheels. But you're going to be missing on the trans brake option. Now, I keep talking about the trans brake option. I keep talking about the body. Well, again, beautiful detailed body. There's another video that I made. Please watch that where I have a physical one in front of me and I'm talking about the vehicle, remove the body, everything. They're just beautiful. You can add LED lights, so you have actual headlights here to the front of these. And the tires are just so nice, so nice. But these are some of the options. Now the transmission is different from the Bandit, and this is something incredibly important. Right? This is why I think the Drag Slash would be a better idea than building one at this point in time. One of the things to notice is you have this thick aluminum plate here, very similar to the Proline transmission. But one of the things that you will notice is the Proline transmission, when you adjust the mesh, the motor goes at an angle. It goes up and down at an angle like this. When you adjust the motor on this one, it goes horizontally. So it's a horizontal adjustment. That's one of the beautiful things here. So your mesh will always be horizontal. So if you do change your gear, your transmission will always be down here on the lower portion. Although as far as torque is concerned, right, you're going to measure the lever arm from here to the center of the motor. So it will still change, but instead of changing this way and an arc, it will be changing this way. It'll be a different change. The other thing too is the trans brake. So you have this, so you can set the throttle, hold the trans brake, release the trans brake, car goes. It's just for faster reaction time. But then again, you could have a particular race where maybe that's not allowed. But if everybody's running the same vehicle, then why not? So those are some things to consider about TSM. I don't care for TSM. If you're running a competition, you would be turning that off. But that is another advantage. The Drag Slash, you can disengage the TSM. Versus the Bandit, I have not seen anything or a way to disengage it. Maybe if you have the app, if you get the Bluetooth app, you may be able to disengage it or change it on your phone through the Link app. But here you just do it on the receiver. So pretty straightforward, easy to do. And again, a lot of cool, beautiful bodies, but this is the main thing I want to show you, the transmission. This is such a beautiful transmission. You have all this additional material right here just to strengthen everything so that this doesn't flex left or right. You have a tunable differential here, very similar to the Proline differential right in here. So it's the same thing. There's screws on the other side. You open it up, and then you just put whatever fluid you want. So if you want this to have more difference between the two wheels or less, so more resistance, you can do that. You can make it work just like a limited slip differential, well, to a point. Now, here it uses the 3 clutch pads. I like the Proline system for 2S, but if you do run 3S, you can get the hot racing aluminum shoes, and those work very, very good with 3S. Another beautiful feature about this, you cannot see it in this picture, but here's the lay shaft. Now, on a standard 272 transmission, you have the lay shaft, and then the lay shaft, there's a roll pin, and that roll pin goes in the gear. So the gear just kind of slides over. There's a little cutout in the gear, and that's where the lay pin engages and turns it. Well, I said lay pin, the roll pin on the lay shaft. So that roll pin sometimes breaks. I've seen it break a few times. That will not happen. This is a different setup. It doesn't have a roll pin. These are pressed in together. It's a different design, so you're not going to have that problem. The other thing else about the transmission, if you actually look at it, this is more of a lay-down version. Not a complete lay-down, but the other Traxxas vehicles, this sits up a little higher on this transmission. So this 772R is definitely an improvement over the other one. Not to mention this aluminum plate, which works as a heat sink. That's one of the things I like about the Proline, so I'm glad Traxxas incorporated this into its transmission for this particular vehicle. So other than that, the question is to answer, or to help you answer the question, should you just buy the Drag Slash or build one using a Bandit? And the answer is going to be, it depends on your budget. If your budget is under $500, well, build one. If your budget is $500, not including tax, so if you pay taxes, include that in there. So let's just say $550. Drag Slash is probably the way to go, because Other than that, all the other options are going to take you really close to that price, which is really not worth it, or over that price, usually over that price. And you will be missing out on features such as that transparent brake feature if it's important to you, right? If it's not important to you, then it doesn't matter. Now keep in mind that if you already have a receiver for your transmitter, then that's where you can start saving some money if you already have some of those parts. And let me go ahead and show you on this one here. So let's say you have this already. Let's say you already have a system, so you're not going to need that. And let's say you already have a servo. I mean, I have a few servos just lying about, so I don't need that either. I have an extra steering bell crank. So that's where you start lowering the price. But even then, again, you're almost at $500 building one from scratch. Not really worth it. If you have a donor, something like this, I already have a Slash, so I wouldn't need this. Actually, I already have a drag car, but I wouldn't need that chassis, right? I can just replace the front end and the rear end, so I would not need that. So this may be a better option because I already have the electronics. I already have a Hobbywig system, for example. I have a VXL system that I can put in, and then this system I can just save for my Vortex or for my nephews when they blow out theirs. And then all I would need, I have CA glue. So all I would need would be wheels, tires, I'd want the better tires, body, paint, etc. I'm going to be under $400. So this may be a better option. Then again, $100 more, I get an awesome truck body, and I do get the wheelie bar with the two wheels, which is easier to tune in my opinion. And I get Mickey Thompson wheels with a trans brake. So again, even in my case, I would probably still get the Drag Slash. So again, it is up to you what you think is better, but consider these points. Other than that, I hope you found this video helpful, and I thank you very much for watching. If you have built a Drag Slash and purchased a Drag Slash, please comment below what are your thoughts. If you've done one or the other, please comment below. If you have a parts list of your build, please put it in the comments. There's a lot of people that would appreciate it. I would appreciate it too. It gives me ideas. So please feel free to comment below and share your wealth of knowledge or your questions, as there are things that some of us probably didn't think about. Other than that, have a good one.
What? Oh, my hair! My car! My rod!